everyone. I'm Jacqueline Maddison. We're back with the Beverly Hills Magazine podcast. We have a very special guest, Darren Prince, who's a sports and celebrity agent. Let's welcome him to the show. Hi, Darren.
How are you?
Good. Yeah, I was wondering if you were going to be good angle the whole time.
It's a little dark on your side. I don't know if you're using.
Yeah, I'm in the movie theater.
Oh, okay.
The house. Yeah, how are you?
Good.
Good. So I'm so glad to have you on the show. Thank you for taking the time out to join the Beverly Hills Magazine podcast.
No problem.
All right.
Oh, that's better. Now I can see it.
Okay, good. Yeah, some light. So tell our listeners, who are you and what do you do? I obviously told them you're a sports and celebrity agent, but a little backstory would be nice.
So I started a baseball card company when I was 14 years old. That became a multi-million-dollar business in the mid-1980s, and I had all the exterior success you would have thought from the outside, all the friends, great loving family, amazing childhood growing up. But because I was labeled at such a young age as having a learning disability and told what I couldn't do, I think I used the business as a way to kind of prove everybody wrong, but never really got in touch with my inner feelings and my inner self. So I was always looking for an outside fix that ultimately became an inside job. So for the better part of 24 years,
Wow.
I struggled with drug addiction. The last 14 years, it was opiate addiction until I had my own God moment, I'd like to say, my white light moment on July 2nd, 2008, where I found recovery, spirituality, sobriety, and ultimately found my real self and started to love myself from the inside and spread that light around the world, which is what I'm doing now. And that means more to me than anything I've accomplished as an agent.
Absolutely. That's wonderful. I know you were representing some of the world's most famous faces and still are, but from Pamela Anderson, Chevy Chase, Sheen, Dennis Rodman, Hulk Hogan, Magic Johnson, Evel Knievel. I mean, the list goes on and on. But the heart of who you are is an entrepreneur. I mean, you started your own business as a kid. And, so being a sports card selling kid from Jersey, and you rose to the upper echelons of world famous celebrity management. I mean, what does it mean for you to be an entrepreneur? I mean, that's an amazing feat you accomplished.
I think it was instilled in me at such a young age. My dad was such a mentor. He passed away about 3.5 years ago, and he always saw that I had a special talent for being around special talent. And I think as I started, the agency Prince Marketing Group, I always realized that I needed to have a substance in my system to blend in, fit, and let everybody think I was comfortable with my own skin. But to do it now and to do it successfully the past 12 years and deal with the highs and the lows and the in-betweens and the craziness, because I don't care who the celebrity is, nobody's off limits to some sort of controversy or, guilty or not, innocent, whatever it might be. You have to really be able to, keep your footing and understand that there's going to be tough times, and to get through all that while maintaining a super successful business and always finding a way to reinvent ourselves and, keep our clients relevant and topical and, global icons around the world has been, tremendously rewarding. And it's not just me. I have an incredible team of agents that work for me and 2 amazing assistants. It's a team effort. And these icons, whether it's like you said, Magic Johnson, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Chevy Chase, Sheen, Dennis Rodman, Carmen Electra, Denise Richards, they've all secured tremendous legacies for themselves. So it's an honor, privilege to be a part of it on the business front with them as well.
Absolutely. So what have been some of the biggest challenges you've faced in your journey of success?
There's the past 3.5 months was one, and it took me all of about 2 days because I'm such a glasses half full type of person that we reinvented our agency, because let's face it, there's not that many live speaking engagements right now, if any.
Right.
There's not many companies are looking to shut down a studio for a 10 to 12-hour production day of shooting commercials. And
Yeah.
we were able to, really reinvent because of the digital platform. And we started the Prince Digital Group, which
Hmm.
really specializes in representing the branding side now. Whether they want celebrities involved or not, we're able to use our platform, our resources, our connections to get a brand out there, whether it's a product, service, initiative, a charity, by using, a wide array of social media influencers,
Yeah.
different celebrities, publicists that can assist them in getting their message out there, rebuilding them online through search engine optimization and digital platforms through their websites. And it's been great because all it is just another transition for us, and utilizing 25, 26 years of experience of marketing to, help brands. My dad used to say that when business is good, it pays to advertise. When business is bad, you better advertise.
Right, absolutely. No, I know this sort of global pause, I think God, hit the reset button. He sent all of us to our rooms and for us to sort of reevaluate our lives, not just our businesses, but our personal lives and what's important, and really bring about a transformation in our lives for the better, because God works all things. I'm a born again Christian, so I believe in God's word, but
Exactly.
God works all things together for our good. So no matter how bad it seems to look, it's ultimately going to work out for our good. And so I think that's fantastic, these new developments in your business that are really bringing about a new growth trajectory for you, which I've seen for my own business as well, because I think we've had a chance to sort of analyze our lives, review the landscape of what we're doing, what we could be doing, and make some real positive and effective changes.
Hmm.
So I'm excited about the future. I think it looks bright.
So am I. I was speaking to my ex-fiance last night, and she was asking me, we're very close, Priscilla and I, about
Right.
how the business was going. And I told her, and she does a lot of social media campaigns and website stuff, and she goes, it's so great. She's like, yeah, you're able to use certain platforms now. And I'm like, yeah, the business hasn't skipped a beat, and we're still doing plenty of licensing deals and Zoom chats and Zoom motivational talks with our icons and athletes and celebrities and musicians. But it's nice because if you just take a deep breath and understand that God always does have a plan, instead of just getting inside our own head into that state of panic, anxiety, the fear of the unknown, the stress. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do?
Right.
It's going to work out the exact way it's meant to work out. And we all did need to put a pause on our life and reassess and reevaluate and reinvent.
We so did. Oh, and God's word also said, cast your cares on him because he cares for you. And so for me, I really did relinquish, and I just am led by the Lord. So I wait for his guidance and his instruction. We're spiritual beings. So he'll give me epiphanies, or, in the morning or through a dream, all of a sudden I'll have perfect clarity of my next move, and it's because
Hmm.
I live a dedicated prayer life. I have a relationship with God. But uh, your life at the top is, full of glitz and glam and fame and fortune, but obviously it has its darkness, and I think I say, I've danced with the devil, I played in the dark, but there's no greater love than the light of our God. And I think a lot of people can relate, because the devil is lurking in every corner in the world. But in your new book, Aiming High, which I read, which is an amazing self-disclosure of your whole story, you disclose the behind the scenes of your life as a sports and Hollywood celebrity agent, obviously. And you share it all, which is so wonderful to allow yourself to be vulnerable and really just let all of it show, to be so real and authentic with the world. Um, so you tell of your story of your hidden drug addiction, which you mentioned
Hmm.
earlier, and this began as a child. Why are you openly telling your story?
I'm
And,
doing
and
well, I should say, because the book came out about a year and a half ago. I just knew it was the right time. You talk about God,
yeah,
a higher power, whatever somebody may believe in. After my dad passed away, he always wanted me to write a book about the business, and he was so proud of my spiritual sober journey and helping other people. And when I got to sing him the night before he passed, and we put him in hospice, I had the beautiful moment, which a lot of people tell me because I'm such a giver, because I've stayed in faith, because
Yeah.
I wake up every single morning, especially these last 12 years of this incredible life-changing journey, looking what I can give to the world and help others, that my reward from God was to be able to hold my dad's hand and say goodbye and ask him first if he was ready to go. And with tears in his eyes, and he turned back around, he said he was ready to die. I said, it's good. I said, it's all good. I said, because I said from this experience, Dad, that I've never felt so comfortable during the most uncomfortable time in my life, because I stayed close to my spiritual fellowship and prayed and knew that this was going to elevate me energetically and spiritually to another level. I go, your son is going to touch the world.
Oh my
That's
God.
a promise I'm making to you right now. I said, I don't know when and where, but it's going to happen, that I'm going to make sure that other people who are deep in the depth of addiction and substance abuse and alcoholism don't have to lose a parent or a loved one while they're active. I want others to be able to feel and go through it and understand that no matter what it is in life, a death, a horrific tragedy, that, we can recover and we can stay recovered, and we can feel the moment and just live every minute of it and have this incredible experience of not numbing out, but just taking it all in and understanding I was present, I was in the moment. And so about 6 months later, I call them GMCs, God Managed Coincidences. I met up with Anna David, my publisher, and who was meant to be my publisher, clearly. And she partnered me with a writer, and she says, you have an incredible story. She's like, it's not just that super agent life. Why don't you talk about the hell of your addiction and what you did to finally build self-worth as you got through the beauty of spiritual recovery? Because if you make people fly on the wall to this journey, you own your own agency. So as long as your clients are behind it, I said, they'd all be behind it. This is their most proudest journey for me, because they see me at my, well, I shouldn't say they all have, and a few have, saw me at my worst, because it was a secret for a long, long time. Maybe 3 or 4 people in my entire life knew how functioning I was, but at the same time knew how sick and suicidal I was. And that was it. It just felt right the way she said it. And
that's part of the living hell, when you are stuck in the grip of the devil and these self-destructive behaviors, and you can't tell anybody, you're living a lie, and it's just this darkness that surrounds you wherever you go, and the flesh is bound in this thing you can't control, and the only way out is the light of God is reaching out for his hand, and he pulls you up and he pulls you out, and he breathes purpose into you, and destiny. Exactly. And then when he does that, this is when God saves a soul, right? And then he starts bringing all the pieces of the puzzle of your life together to bring about his perfect mosaic to activate you into your destiny. And it's the most glorious supernatural experience, because things come out of nowhere that are just meant to be. People, opportunities, doors open. It's truly wonderful. So, and that prophetic declaration over your life that you're gonna change the world, you're gonna touch so many people, is powerful. I mean, you're definitely living up to that prophecy.
It's what I'd say. It's what I, I'm obsessively involved in mental health recovery, breakthroughs, whatever I could do to help people, because, I know what it was like being in the depths of hell and living a secret. And, like you said, experiences, people, opportunities. I've got a relationship now with Banyan Treatment Center. They have 12 properties across the country, and I've got my own toll-free call number. So if people can't even afford treatment, we find a way to scholarship and get them in. I've got, elite home detox. If somebody doesn't want to have to go to a rehab, they can do this in the luxury of their own home or the privacy of their own apartment. Like, these resources never were available to me when I was out there and I was active, because there's such shame and such a stigma from addiction that, that to me is what creates the biggest hurdle of somebody having that willingness. They think about the fear of, how am I going to do it? People are going to know. And, there's other ways out there that you can do this and go through what seems like the darkest time of your life and come out shining the brightest of all lights you've ever experienced, and I'm living proof.
Absolutely. One of the strongest grips of the devil is to use fear, is to keep you in fear, whether it's fear of confessing the truth, fear of, disclosing your addiction, your betrayal, whatever it is, that keeps us in this prison of our own lives, but what I love about what you've done is you have the courage, and you're exemplifying the courage to come out, especially being so high profile and having celebrity clients, that will inspire others to be courageous too, and to admit defeat, because there is power in admitting defeat, because then we
Hmm.
can learn to overcome,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
recognize our need for help from God,
Hmm. Absolutely.
It's wonderful what you're doing. So how are you balancing now your spiritual life with your personal success,
I think to
or
me,
your
and this,
your yeah,
yeah, I mean, I think you would understand this, it's to remain humble and
yes,
hopeful. And I'm part of a 12-step fellowship that I believe is ego crushing.
yeah,
And as long as my ego is crushed, people could say the agent life, the mega agent, the super agent. None of that. I don't
right,
even listen to it, because that's not me. I represent extraordinary people with extraordinary talent, and like I said, I think I have a special gift for managing special talent. To me, and somebody asked who Darren Prince is. I am a recovering drug addict, one day at a time, looking to give this gift away to people in need so they can find their true and real self and stop living a lie. And,
wow, that
and
is
as
so
long as
powerful.
as long as I remember that first, and I could say that with the utmost comfort and peace and happiness, and take that deep breath and know that I finally arrived, because I've developed that self-esteem for the first time in my life over the past 12 years by doing esteemable acts. It's
Yeah,
got nothing to do with the celebrity life. That's what I do. That's my career, and I'm privileged and honored to be a part of that. But I'm humbled and so beyond blessed and favored, having a platform through that to just get random emails from around the world, instant messages on Instagram, Facebook requests. When I do interviews like this, that random people will email me, and I actually can be a voice. I can tell them, doesn't matter if you're from Park Avenue or Park Bench, or you went to Yale or jail, that this disease does not discriminate. And there's such an underlying root to addiction and substance abuse, in my opinion. It's not, it doesn't know no social background. It's a character disorder. It's an internal piece that we struggle to find or attain. And to finally get there at 50 years old and know that I could lose everything tomorrow, the business, and
mm-hmm.
the only thing that would change is I wouldn't be able to take care of the people I love, because I found Darren Prince. I found the real me. And it's just the
um,
most amazing feeling in the world.
that's such a story of victory. You mentioned being crushed, and God makes the finest wine from the crushed grapes, and we have to uh, relinquish all ego. I say there can be no ego in true success, because it's always about service to others, you know?
Oh, always. The more you give, the more you receive. And when you do that, and you're not doing it to receive. I was with Magic Johnson. I think we had a speaking engagement at the end of last year. I was on his plane with him flying back to Vegas, and he was just saying how proud he was. I started my own Aiming High Foundation, and he knows my affiliations with the rehabs to help people. And he goes, your business and everything is flourishing, Darren, because as well as your recovery, most importantly, because you're giving without any expectations of receiving. And God just can't help but to pay you back, to keep being a blessing. And on my 50th birthday, Hulk Hogan posted something on Instagram that just blew me away. He said that, about me being a special man in his life, because 12 years ago, I asked him for the blessing. And God said to me, you've come to me correct. And it's in time, I'm going to make you a blessing. And that's what feels like
Wow.
has happened.
Wow. That is amazing, because there is a right and a wrong posture of heart, and God loves a cheerful giver. He truly
Mm.
does. His word says it is more blessed to give than to receive,
We
because
use the God word on here so much. I always like to clarify, whatever somebody believes in, whatever their spiritual being, whatever their higher power, whatever they feel can get them to that point of breakthrough and change to get to your best life, that's fine. Just we all need to understand that there's a reason we're all here. There's a reason we go through everything. Obviously, you and I refer to ours as that, but It's just everybody, once they get into that zone or that realm or that space of willingness and breakthrough and that gift of desperation, whatever your
Mm-hmm.
vice may be in life, whatever that challenge may be, once you get there, all these blessings that you and I are talking about, you all receive it because your eyeballs get a completely different sense of lens on them,
Yeah,
you
well,
know?
I had a similar experience, where I humbled myself and I cried a prayer of repentance, of desperation to the Lord, and he saved me. He transformed my life. So that's why for me I'm so bold about this availability of a new life, a
Yeah.
rebirth, a breaking off of the chains of whatever darkness has us bound, guilt, shame, pain, unforgiveness, bitterness, addiction, whatever it is, you know,
Exactly.
that we can all step into the light of God's grace and live a life of purpose and destiny, the things that we're meant to do, and utilize the God-given gifts and talents within each and every one of us that are unique to us, and it's just a beautiful thing, which I hope and pray every one of us can experience and live out. That's the abundant life that Christ died on the cross to give us. That's the life that we as all children of God should be living,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing when we do. So now,
100%.
what advice would you give to other entrepreneurs who are out there who maybe who have a secret addiction?
It's harder for somebody with success because you've got so many people around you. I don't want to say yes people that depend on you. And for me, running a multi-million-dollar agency was tough. I had a lot of people that just, how could this be possible? Like, he's just going through a rough time. It's just, it's not, no, it's extremely possible because I was the one that was always looking for that outside fix. That was an inside job. And at a certain point, my using what was once living to use turned out to using to live. And
Wow.
I was in a place worse than hell. So when you see these celebrities or business owners or, huge business moguls, these tragedies of taking their own lives, or somebody just out of nowhere, boom, you go to TMZ or the Associated Press, you see they wind up in rehab. We're a little bit tougher because we've got the resources to get what we need to get. And, I mentioned earlier, I'm part of, I'm on the board of Elite Home Detox, and that would have been ideal for somebody like me because Jacqueline, again, it's the ego. I don't want to go to a rehab center and have people see me, no matter how upscale it might be. If I could do something in the privacy of my own home and have the proper nurses and doctors around the clock care, and then get into some psychotherapy, whether a 12-step fellowship for you is not, or temple or church or Buddhism, whatever it might be, because it's not just getting clean and getting your mind right, it's what you do to stay the path and energetically and spiritually evolve one day at a time to your higher self, and to continue that journey, because life for every one of us is one day at a time. People in recovery hear that all the time. It's one day at a time in business, it's one day at a time with your family, it's one day at a time with whatever you're doing, and we have to remember that.
I know. I remind myself of that every day, and it's such a relief to me that it's one day at a time, because I think more than that would be too much. I can breathe and just take on whatever I need to handle and manage today. And life, I think it simplifies life when you take it one day at a time.
And
You
staying
know?
in that moment, and staying in that moment, the moment of right now, because I was always a projector. I plan for the future. As an entrepreneur, I
Of
obviously have to look
course.
at the books and licensing opportunities, residual income. I have to see where we're at on the fourth quarter and whatnot, but I don't put myself into fear of projection anymore, because two things I've learned: that I'm not responsible for my thoughts, but I am responsible for how long I want to think those thoughts.
I
And now
like
I have
that.
life tools to get out of my own way. And if we
Yeah.
made a list of 10 or 20 things we want to obsess on today, the fear of the unknown, the fear of the future, 99% of them in a month or two, nothing's going to happen that way. And the one that might go sideways is most likely going to be the biggest blessing out of all of
And totally unexpected too. So worry is
them. Right.
absolutely useless.
You're just wasting space in your head, you
I
know?
know.
So,
Yes. So what is success to you? How would you define success?
Professionally, I've gotten there for sure. There's always you want more, but to me, it's personal.
Yeah.
My belief is you could have balance of both, and the fact that I know that my message and platforms like yours and so many others have given me the ability to touch a life and change a life.
Right.
Um, that success. That's what I want my legacy to be someday. I don't have kids yet, and it's to me to be able to speak. I did 57 speaking engagements last year, and to see the
Wow.
life and the magic come on in somebody's eyes when I'm done, whether it's during a Q&A or a meet and greet. I mean, that gives me a charge and a God-given energy that I just can't explain. It's better than any business deal I could ever do to see the look of desperation in somebody's eyes and through my words from my higher power to give them that gift of desperation in that moment and to see them slowly regain the power of choice and their life back,
Yes.
whether it's substance abuse or something else, so then hope and recovery begins. That's success.
Yes, the freedom. For me, it's about becoming your who God created you to be, your greatest self, right? And living out your purpose and destiny. And you seem to be doing that, and it's beautiful to witness people do it because even you've expressed it. Yeah, and it's you can't explain it, but it just elevates your spiritual self when you step into your destiny and purpose. It's like the supernatural high. I say there's no high like the most high because um, this is destiny and purpose stuff. I mean, it's beyond anything physical. Okay, yes, we're spiritual beings, but we live in a physical realm, so we sort of have to marry the two, right?
Mhm.
And when we do, life just becomes a glorious adventure, you know?
It's like it's like I'm very friendly with Joel Osteen at Victoria, and like how he says it, like when you get there and there's that explosive blessing on the inside that happens,
Yeah.
it's just it's a supernatural feeling. It just never gets old. You just need more and more of it. So, like I said,
Exactly.
and I mentor a lot of young entrepreneurs. We have so many different random internships, and I love the business world and the sports and entertainment industry, and that's also an amazing rewarding experience getting like teenagers or young college kids in sports management and sports and entertainment marketing and public relations. That's also super rewarding. But for me, it's always about that personal breakthrough as well
Oh, for
that I
sure.
can assist
And
somebody with.
I don't know if you've been baptized, but when I got baptized, that just took it to a whole nother stratosphere. So if you
Hmm.
haven't, you should try it.
Hmm. Yeah.
um, let's see. So if God granted you one wish, what would you wish for?
One more fishing trip with my dad.
Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. Oh, I bet. And I know when I read that moment about how, oh my gosh, that's just such a miracle that he woke up, and you were able to have like, wow, that is just so, that
You
just
know,
shows how wonderful God is. He really blessed you with that beautiful moment. And you'll keep that
and
forever.
I think I told you when we met, I have an agent friend of mine that represents a lot of overseas basketball players, and we connected a few months after my dad passed, and he's the one that said it to me. We were both in tears, and he goes, "That was your reward, because that was your reward, your
Right.
God-given reward for what you did with giving back, because that's not supposed to happen."
Right. No, that's a miracle because you know what? God knows the future, so He already knew
Yeah,
that you would be loyal and committed to carry this out. That's why He
yeah,
put this mantle on you. He
yeah,
knows, so He gives it out as He knows
yeah,
it will be carried out.
yeah,
How
absolutely.
wonderful.
Yeah.
So, do you believe you're living your God ordained destiny and purpose and what you're created to do, or is there more for you?
I no, I found my calling 100%. I always thought it was about the agency life, and like I said, I know you have a lot of entrepreneurs that watch this and read it, and that's amazing. But I think it just can't all be about you and your professional success. There's so much more that comes out of personal success and helping others. Magic Johnson told me when he signed as my first client in 1994 that I need to use him to knock down and open as many doors as possible, because it's not how successful he's going to become, because he's going to be super successful. It's how successful he makes me and everybody else around me, that it's a domino effect in life to give back.
Right.
So I do it on both fronts. I do it professionally, but my passion is really when I do it personally.
That's fantastic. Um, what else? What's in store for you next? Or do you have any speaking engagements? Or are there ways that our listeners or readers can connect with you? How can they keep up with you?
So my speaking engagements are mostly going to be on Zoom right now. Obviously, the same way I'm booking them. Me and my team of agents book it for our clients. You know, they could follow me on Instagram at agent_DP. If anybody is interested in books, we ship them out. So all we need is your address. We've been sending out hardcover. We sent out hundreds of hardcover books to people all around the world, because if I could just help one life, it's a tremendous blessing. Official Darren Prince is my website. Prince Marketing Group. www.Prince Marketing Group is the agency, and there's a lot happening. Both on the business and personal front. So any readers, listeners watching, want some advice, you've got young kids or you're in college and you're looking for some, tidbits and advice on what it takes to make it in the sports and entertainment industry, I'm a phone call away. And anybody that knows somebody struggling, if you're struggling yourself, just know that the strength comes when you have that willingness. I go by the 5 A's, which is attitude adjustment, action, acceptance, and accountability. And I learned that early on in recovery. When I put that into my heart, into my soul, everything slowly started falling into place.
Yeah, I love that. It's a formula. It's good. So for me, success comes from surrender, realizing that I need God. Because I say without the Lord, I would destroy myself. And to me, that's a powerful acknowledgement, because it always keeps me in a humble posture, that every day I wake up in prayer and I rely on the spirit, not the flesh.
Yep.
My
Absolutely.
flesh is not going to do anything good.
No.
But the spirit, when I'm walking in the spirit, then I can live a life of purpose and destiny.
Exactly.
And I think that's what we all want.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, folks. Well, thank you so much for tuning into Beverly Hills Magazine podcast. Darren, I just want to thank you so much for sharing your story and for the copy of the book. I love it so much. You're really changing the world, and we know with this opioid epidemic that is just ravaging lives and souls, you couldn't be more of like a messenger. You're needed now more than ever, and I just want to commend you and thank you for stepping up and having the courage and the boldness to do what needs to be done to get the message out, to reach people and to help them, to save them. So thank you so much for sharing your story and for being on the show.
Thank you. And I look forward to keeping in touch. I look forward to keeping in touch, of course.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Forever and always.
Always.
Yeah.
We're walking. We're walking in the same line of the spirit. We have to.
That's right. God brought us together. There's no accidents in God's plan. I'm a firm believer in that.
This is a lot more than we came together, Jacqueline, for a lot more than just an interview. I'm sure we're going to be sending messages back and forth. And on some days you might need something I'm going to send you, and vice versa. And then we got to send it out to the rest of the people that are struggling, whatever that message is.
You're right. So we have spiritual work to do, and we have lots of material work to do.
Exactly.
And you had mentioned something about evolving, and that's the true evolution of our beings, is spiritual growth, and then we get to manifest that through the physical things we do in the earth realm. So it's awesome. Exactly. And I call it my never-ending to-do list. So
I love that.
It just gets better and better.
Great. Well, thank you again for the time and the opportunity, and hope we could touch and change a couple lives.
Yeah. God's will be done,
Yep.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Thanks.